Good morning.
Good morning.
Greetings, everyone.
Good morning.
Today we're just gonna get right into it. I want to say I hope everybody's safe out there. Shout out to the peaceful protesters and everybody out there who's trying to keep the peace, but also are trying to make sure we have an impact and the word gets out, because enough is enough, and it's long overdue for a change, y'all. So good morning, y'all.
Yeah.
That's right.
Also don't forget to like, subscribe, share.
ABE.
Our Beauty Equilibrium on YouTube. You can call in. Please call in. Give us your thoughts. 323-920-4118.
What up, Damon?
Man.
Oh, yes. Damon, it's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, man.
Hey,
That's my guy. I've been knowing this dude since 5 years old. We've been rocking.
Hey, man, he over there. You sound like Theo over there.
What's up to my fellow Gemini over there?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Gemini's in the
that
building.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So
He's a funny guy.
let's get into it.
Yeah, so first of all, just to talk about the George Floyd video,
Yeah.
that was
horrific.
yeah, and it was, I think, for me, it's one of the ones that just makes no sense. You know, sometimes somebody's fighting back, or sometimes you may see somebody at least trying to put up some type of aggression, and that was one where it was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It was nothing.
He cried for. He said, "Mama."
Yeah, it's tough to even watch
He
that,
said,
man.
did he say, "Mama, I'm dying"? Or something?
I know he said "Mama" for sure. I know he said called for his mom. I just feel like, as a police officer, their job, if I'm not mistaken, is to protect and serve the people.
Right.
And even with criminals, killing them is supposed to be last resort, or it should be.
It should
even
be
if they're a
last
criminal.
resort.
Right.
So, like,
Even as
once
criminal.
you
'Cause
see
you're
that
supposed
he's
to
on the
be
floor, homeboy could have had his
Innocent till proven
feet.
guilty. Right.
Yeah, old boy could have grabbed the feet. I grab his hands, but he can't breathe. Get up, he gonna kill him.
One of those other officers, first of all, shouldn't have put his knee in his neck. Second of all, one of those other officers should have been like, you know what, chill out.
Yeah.
Third of all, they should have, looked at it, and took those officers in, for questioning. They should have arrested them.
That might happen.
Yeah. That's
Because the police chief came out and said that they're all complicit. He said, like, he doesn't see any difference. Because you got to look at it. If you're on the street, right? So take away the badge. Mm-hmm. If we all together and one of us commits a crime and we don't say anything and we choose to be silent, we all still going to jail.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So just because they are in that position, he said, yeah. And normally that doesn't happen. I mean, we've seen that time and time again, where going all the way back to Rodney King and even before that. But that's just what I remember, my earliest memory of the first time when it hit, made sense to me. Mm-hmm. Wow, they really treat us completely differently because when we saw that, and now you moving up to somebody's life being taken, and I think in the back of our mind, it's like, oh, they're going to get off.
But the way it's, what's interesting too about how he killed him, it almost seemed like it was subliminal, like the knee to the back of the neck, like, they still got their foot on our neck, so to speak.
Hey, I was listening to
the
Mayor
hands
Butts.
in the pocket, to me, was a thing.
That's what Mayor Butts was saying.
Like
Did
the
you see
most
his
relevant,
swagger?
right? Exactly.
Got your hands in your pocket.
When you just are as callous to just do something in such a nonchalant way,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't matter if you were like being filmed, being almost like publicly reprimanded by people around you. You didn't stop or take heed to anything.
Right. Even
you didn't stop. The people around you didn't stop you. It's just a buildup. Like, even for them to go and say, well, let's check and see, he had other illnesses for probably why he died. And obviously that's wrong. They made it and investigated through the autopsy that it was from the lack of breathing and the pressure on his neck. So, it's supposed to go from murder 3 to murder 1 now. So, justice does need to be served.
How does like a citizen arrest work with that? Like with the people that was just watching, that was there. Like, are you allowed to, arrest an officer or make an attempt to try and stop it? He's clearly committing murder.
But that can be a dangerous situation for your life. You know what I mean? And
you don't have
a
gun. They do.
Right.
I think, and they got the law on their side. But I think in the future, like a lot of people are feeling like, no.
But watching a person kill somebody is watching a person kill somebody.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people, a lot of the protesters were saying that, in the future, if y'all do this, I'm willing to go to jail. I'm willing to take whatever comes with that because, I'm not going to allow. And you shouldn't have to make those decisions. And I think, like, even on the way up here, right on the freeway overpass, we saw a sign that said, racism is like the real pandemic. And I think that's always the root at the bottom of all is it's systemic racism. Period. There's no other way. It's in every like piece of our society. Like it's racism, and even the way they treat you afterwards. Like, you know what I'm saying. So I think we gotta take a real like close look at that and just call it for what it is. Like, y'all gotta stop tripping. Period. Like one life is not more valuable than another life.
It seems like we having a lot more support now too from everyone, but I just wonder if that support is only for their own interest though. Like I drove around yesterday seeing a lot of stores boarded up with Black Lives Matter, we support you, but do you really, or do you just not want us to take your shit because you got it all boarded up? You know what I'm saying? Like, is you really rocking with us now? Because all of a sudden
it's bigger than just
everybody's supporting us. Seem like right now it's us, and that's good.
It's not just us though. I think that's the thing. I think people are starting to finally look at it for what it is and really say, you know what? It's not just y'all treating the black people this way. Y'all treating women this way. Y'all treating Hispanics this way. Y'all, it's like
so everybody's just done.
It's a supremacist.
Just pretty much like enough is enough.
Well, for the most part, anybody of color,
any minority, period. It's like
is gonna get it.
And that right there is an issue. It's like it's okay to have pride and everything, but when you get to the point where you're taking people's lives and you treating them different, like look at the dude. I can't remember his name, but the church shooting and when they arrested that man,
white boy.
And they walked him out. They took him to get some food, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
like, are you hungry?
Man, that just
like that right there.
That's not
that
cool.
right there it shows a difference in how you even perceive somebody. Like this man just murdered all these innocent people, and it just goes to point to the real problem is racism.
The same energy you had with the black man we just lost,
George Floyd.
Forgive me. That same energy, if that was with that white man in that church, he would have got smoked as soon as they walked up in there.
Man, my thing is just like LeBron James said, like, when is America going to love us too? Like, you want everything from us. You want you want to, everybody want to take a piece of our, culture. You want to steal our inventions. You want to rob us of our our work. It's like, of our labor. Excuse me. You want to lock us up, like, dude, like.
But that's why we have to watch the rhetoric that we use, even in kind of like ridiculing the protesters. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I believe in protest. I believe that protesting is our natural right. I just feel like at this point in time, you cannot tell people how to grieve. You cannot tell people how to emotionally try to deal with something that is just such a human issue with us that nobody's been basically recognizing it. I just want people to have the same tolerance for people maybe doing something that they shouldn't be doing as they have for people being killed, from Trayvon Martin to Philandro Castro to who, I mean, you can name a list of people, and we've seen this. Our generation has basically succumbed to the same things that our parents' parents have succumbed to, and also their parents. So when do we see an ease in something?
That's the problem.
Exactly, happening to us, and then people saying, you know what, not only are we going to talk about it, but we're going to try to understand and change it. You can talk about it as long as you want to. It can be on the news 3 months from now. When they go to court, do you think that these people are going to say, you know, we're going to basically like try to feel and understand what they're going through? They're going to be busy trying to basically, in my opinion, exonerate, because we need to start talking about the laws. And one thing that's like dysfunctional with the society is the use of excessive force. Why is excessive force given? Why are you giving excessive force on a human being and then being able to have immunity over it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well,
but you just touched on a key topic. You said a human being, and I think sometimes they don't view us as human beings.
They don't. They viewed us as domestic animals.
Right.
Like, you
back
view
in the
somebody
days when
as
they
something
used
less
to,
than.
You know,
used to be able to just anybody could get a slave, if I'm not mistaken, like, or if you've seen one, you can kill it.
Well,
Right.
one thing I wanted to do was bank off what you're saying, right? And how these police are policing, you know. I think that we need to go to the root of it, and that's, you know, one, like education.
Yes, it's the laws, it's the training.
Right. It's like, why is it that it took us longer to get our barber and cosmetology license
Man,
than it
speak
does to
on
take
that.
for a police officer to get a badge? Like,
Right.
I should have looked it up, but it's some country. It takes them about 2 to 3 years of learning and, you know, knowing the people before you can actually get on the street. Like, I really feel like these cats really need to get more, you know, education, you know, take more, you know, classes in psychology.
But to be honest with you, I don't think it's a matter of education. They know what they're doing. They don't do it
But
when they
No, it is though.
No,
it is. As
But
far
how
as
they walk the man out the church.
dude,
but it's not.
like they
It's
pick and
not.
choose when
It's
they
not
wanna
just
use
book
it.
knowledge. Just what he's talking about is like you can have cultural education. You can
Yes.
be. You
Okay.
can be.
Yes, knowledge
You
is
can be
power.
culturally seasoned. Like, do you know how my people talk? Do you know how we move? Do you know how
So
we
should they like
sound?
leave? Should they live
gotta
where they
have to-
serve?
You might come in a barbershop on a Friday and we're animated. We having a good conversation. You might think we about to fight.
Right.
And we're not. We love each other. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So this
We
is
just
what I
talk
mean
loud.
by educate, you know, getting educated.
That's a cultural difference.
You know, like it's funny. My counselor, my therapist, hit me, you know, yesterday, and she was like, "You're gonna laugh at this." I'm like, "Why?" She was like, "You know, my neighbor said, you know, like, oh, you know, this guy said these cats was running on the roof," and she was like, you know, that's okay. Like, you know, they're cats. They can just run on the roof. And I didn't get what she was saying at first either. She was like, "No, not cats. Like guys." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of
Like who?
She was like, you know how we say, "Oh, that cat."
Oh,
Yeah.
like
She-
that. Oh, okay.
Oh, she's talking about the protesters?
It wasn't just protests. She was just saying how people just running. You know, they was running on the roof, and he was like, you know, and this I guess is in Long Beach or whatever. You know, and she was like, "Oh, like I'm thinking it's cats, but you know, so sometimes you just don't know."
You don't understand the lingo of how people talk.
So-
in the
Oh,
culture.
I get what you're
know,
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, it's just knowing, you know, because, you know, it's if we took the time out, or if these people who are supposed to protect and serve the people know the people, maybe they'll be better at policing the people.
I think that is a big something that people just do not realize across the board is like when you pay taxes and you're part of a citizen of this country, these public officers work for us. They are supposed to protect us, to serve our best interest. So it's not about, you shouldn't feel worried is my point. You should look at the police as, you know, for all
that
intents
is
and
what they're
purposes,
paid to do,
like
is
a source of protection. Not, and I always, I mean, just growing up in this area, I've always felt nervous and just associate them with, like, you know, it's not a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I know not all of them are like that, but it's enough of a systemic problem in the root, and it's like just filled with racism in so many different levels. Like, I don't know if you remember when some of these other cases were going on a few years ago, and the FBI looked into all the different police departments across the country. They came to the conclusion that racism has infiltrated a lot of police departments.
Right.
And that's the bottom line. You have people.
I mean, not only was it infiltrated, they were recruiting out in the South with the, racist, like come.
That's
out,
my point.
Come out here, come out here and to LA and
And then something else I want to touch on too. If you see a lot of the videos that some of the people on the ground are posting, I think what makes this movement different from, say, the Rodney King riots is that you have everybody out there. Number one, it's Hispanics, it's Caucasians, it's young people, old people, like everybody's out there, right? Mm-hmm. The vast majority of them are peaceful. They're peacefully protesting. Mm-hmm. They're not harming anybody. And then on top of that, you have these groups going in, placing pallets of bricks. They've caught so many people, breaking windows and walking away. Like, they're inciting violence, inciting,
disruption.
Disruption. And I was talking to somebody last week about that, and they were saying, well, it ain't their fault. You still got to make that decision. And I said, true, but when you're if you study like a mob mentality and you have these big groups of people, it's very easy. It doesn't take many people to shift the energy. That's why it's a crime. Why can't you go to jail for inciting a riot?
Right.
Because you could go somewhere and yell fire and everybody pour out the building.
Exactly.
Or if everybody's angry already and you come along, break a window. Mm-hmm. And it's right now, hey, a lot of these people, they're not out there for the right reasons. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying some people going out there just to loot. But that's not the focus of it. And I hate when I see the media outlets shift all the attention like, oh, that's all they're out there to do is get shoes. Like, I was watching, I ain't going to, just different networks, but I was watching a network, and they were literally just showing a loop of some young black man taking some sneakers.
Yeah, see,
and I'm like, cool. I'm not feeling that, because are you going to
show
the
same network that showed that?
Are you going to show the young women that were spray painting Black Lives Matter on the Starbucks, and the sisters went to her and said, "That's not what we out here for," and checked them? Are you going to show the clip when the other sister was like, "Hey, why you giving bricks out? Take your brick back. What y'all doing?"
I seen a clip with a black officer, female, was checking a white
male
cop.
Yeah.
Reprimanded him right
over
there. She said,
protester.
"Don't touch him," and he was so enraged he couldn't control himself. Mm-hmm. And
they're not showing that like that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You need to show the whole picture, because I feel like that's the beauty of everybody having a phone on them, everybody having a camera.
And banking off that, I know everybody is doing the blackout and everything, and that's cool. But still, if you got informative pictures, informative videos, please show that. Because that may help somebody. If they still out there, protesting.
I agree.
Where to go, or it might help somebody out. Definitely. So I'm with shutting down the media and everything like that. But right now we need as much media as possible, positive media.
Yeah, just show the whole picture. That's all.
Maybe just like they got July 7th. Don't spend anything. We need to start hitting these people in their pockets. Like that's. I picked that up. The way you hurt somebody is through their pockets. So we might have to collectively get together and figure out what days that we not gonna buy gas or whatever the system may be. I'm not the person who knows what to do.
I feel what you're saying though.
But
it's like you want to be effective at the end of the day.
Yeah, we want to be effective because
want to do something.
Because they are hearing us. That's a good thing. But we still need to stay positive, because I don't want You know, even though I know it needs to be bloodshed, I don't want nobody getting hurt, y'all. I really don't. Like,
Wherever
but it's like Damon just said, I want to shout him out. He said that the difference is everybody got cameras, so we're not just relying on the media. So
Right,
I agree with you,
that's,
Damon.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts.
You know,
And it's about time that they get called out as well. You know what I mean? For being biased
the
and
media,
not showing
yes.
the full
Yes.
spectrum of what's going on out there. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we can see something and what somebody else can see is totally different, and they'll, you know, kind of
Exactly.
put their own spin on it to negatively affect a group of people.
This is the only time
you know?
I agree with Trump. Fake news. You know, show that real.
Television programming set.
Yeah.
That part.
Programs you.
Program.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like,
right.
okay,
Jason.
it's like, do you remember when we had the Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, and Kanye West was saying his comments about how when you see certain families that are white, they say, oh, they're scavenging for food. They
Yeah.
saw a black family, they're looting. It's like,
so
bro,
just going back to
Terminology.
to remember the one that there's like, I hope she's not looting. She might be
Yeah.
an employee.
Like, come on,
like,
man.
man, she is
She walking
grabbing
up out of there with
she
the
grabbing
new,
stuff like everybody
with
else.
the new Louis purse, man.
Just because she
Like,
was, just
yeah,
because
I
she
don't like
white,
that.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
White people grab stuff too. No offense.
Everybody does.
you know,
Everybody.
Everybody,
Everybody,
everybody
you know.
got people that are for progress and people that are not. And the bottom line is, I applaud everybody that's out there, because one thing that makes a difference is, like, when you are actively a recipient of the benefit of this racism, it's, to me, it's dope to see you still stand out and say, you know what, even though I got white privilege, I recognize this injustice. I think that's
And
dope.
that is what that is what
Yeah.
America needs. It's for the privilege to finally stand up.
And say something and,
And
do
say
something.
something.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah. Talk on that, man.
Y'all saw that dummy with the bow and arrow
Man.
that was lying and got his ass beat?
Lying,
And that's
bro.
funny.
I haven't
Because,
seen that.
you
I didn't see
know,
that.
like I said, I don't want nobody to get hurt, but that dude with the bow and arrow deserved to get his ass beat
What
because he
happened?
blamed.
It was an elderly man in the middle of the chaos, right? The protest, but it was getting a little antsy, the energy, and he hopped out.
Well, on
Take it, man.
so on, you know, the news, he was like, I got jumped. They jumped me took me out my car and beat me, these black guys, right?
That part.
But when they show it actually happened, this dummy is outside thinking he Robin Hood with a bow and arrow shooting people, and the crowd came and jumped on him. There was not one black person.
one
though.
black person.
Not one
See?
black person. And it was mainly women.
See, they just be throwing, it was that black guy, it was that black, they be throwing that
No,
around
but-
like it ain't nothing.
But what I'm saying is, you have to think about, once again, the mentality and the racism. You got to call it what it is. Why are you elderly? You're not supposed to be coming out the house with COVID going
Yeah,
around,
you supposed
right?
to have your-
But you're gonna pull up on a full blown protest with a bow and arrow. What are
Like,
you doing?
What,
Right.
what,
You know what I'm saying?
Who do
That
you
white
think
boy
you
shit.
are?
That's why I said we can't judge, and we have to have the same tolerance for people doing whatever they have to do to try to get through this moment, and not telling people how to feel in regards to seeing somebody publicly get murdered in your face. You know what I mean? Over and over again, it just keeps on happening to our sisters, our neighbors, our brothers, our loved ones, our community. It's time for people to say something and do something.
What they say?
My boy Bree Collins, he said,
Listen
listen to Dr. King's last speech. I've been to the mountaintop. He spoke to spending dollars in your own community and not supporting dollars
Out your community.
Yeah, there you go. I stumbled, my bad. Yeah, I agree. You know, we need to, get back to supporting black dollars, straight up.
Yeah,
I'm
with that.
Because most communities, they keep it in their own community. We need to get back to that. Hands down.
But Martin Luther King. No, man. I'm gonna let you now. See, it's contagious. You're like passing
A
it.
few weeks ago, we
Y'all
had that
next,
problem,
yeah.
remember?
Dr. Martin Luther King, he also spoke about having a fear that he had led his people into a burning building, because, when you look at outside of just like on the economic tip, outside of even the black community, there is a big picture of the have and the have-nots. And I think when you start to focus on that, every time people come together and they start to say, you know what, it's not just us. It's everybody. You got this one small group of people that have all the money. They have all the political influence. They have all the TV stations, blah, 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 all the resources, right? That's the issue. That's the problem. How do you have all of that without bloodshed, without racism, without, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Evil.
Exactly.
It's no way to
Because
amass.
it's so unfair.
It's such a disproportionate amount of wealth. It's no way if you get to really tracing that back to the roots. Nah, come on now.
Well, you know what? I read a comment 2 days ago, and it read, don't criticize looting and also rebellion when most of the museums that exist right now are from looting. You know what I mean? Looting and like basically like a disruption of a whole culture, you know, and people. So don't criticize. Don't sit there in your soapbox and criticize looting.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we know it's wrong. We know we're not.
But every
saying,
reaction
oh, yeah,
deserves
go
a
ahead.
reaction, though,
Right.
too. So with all that
Exactly.
negative energy that the police officers been putting into, you know, how they protect and serve the community, it's gonna fight back at some point.
And you know what I want to say? A lot of times, change doesn't come from just nothing happening at all. Change is not.
I seen someone
you know.
mention they got to do it Malcolm way.
Hey, but that's like the movie South Central when he talking to his son. He was like, "Hey, I feel like that. It's corny, but it's like, hey, those material things can be replaced, flat out.
Right.
That window can be replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They got insurance.
we're talking about lives that
They got insurance.
are like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
know?
Which is why you understand why some people go to the next measure, where it's life for a life, which
Like-
some people are willing to do that. You know,
I don't
Now,
know if
that's
you
a
guys
little crazy,
heard,
but
like Target
sometimes
said that, you know, they like, you know, we hate that this stuff is happening to our buildings, but they in full support, you know, of what's going on. Like, shout out to Target, you know, if that, you know, I got that, you know, my little brother told me that Target sent that message.
and they was boarded up early.
Because they are boarded up, and I understand,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't know, y'all.
yeah.
I just want to say, keep that same energy, keep the same energy moving forward, and don't lose it. When it's time to go vote, when it's time to go sit in that
Yes.
that jury
Tell 'em,
box
Shima.
or whatever, go and do it, because you see that from every institution and system that we have in here, we need change. We need something to go in there that's positive, and we need the energy that we have right now to go and make that change. So when
Right.
it's time
Facts.
for you to go and vote locally and do all these things that we should be doing, take the time. I was devastated I didn't make it to my last to go vote lastly, not for president, but it was like a local election. I made it there too late. But I just felt like at the end of the day, it's not enough people who vote in those local things to help, you know, help things out in your community. And these are the things that you have to get those police chiefs out. You have to make yourself known in your community. You have to organize and organize from grassroots effort and from the ground up or whatever, so you can basically have an ability to be able to make a difference and make a change and make a choice, you know?
Right,
We
facts,
can sit and talk all day long, but it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change a judge. These judges that have been there,
That's right.
who
Go
have
vote.
been sending people to jail that are in our community or whatever, and exonerating people that you know need to be behind bars. So,
Exactly.
you know, it's not going to come from us hoping and wishing that something happened. We have to basically all put in work. So,
there it is. There.
Go.
Vote.
All right, y'all.
Gotta keep that same energy.
Yes.
All right.
Also, you know, speaking on that voting, we need to have somebody in there, not just saying vote for me, but, you know, what you gonna do for us, you know, as far as
Hold them accountable too.
yeah, you know, because we can vote, you know, it ain't about Democrat or Republican. It's what you gonna do for the people, dog.
Yeah, we gotta
Right.
stop letting these people think that they could just tell us they got hot sauce in their purse or,
Yeah.
or you
I
ain't
don't-
black if you
I don't
don't
give
vote
a
for
damn
me
about
and
none
we
of
good
that,
with that.
homie.
We not.
Yeah.
I need some change.
right.
Straight up.
Facts, though.
Organize, plan, you know, and execute.
Yeah, man.
With that,
That's our show for the day. Don't
Love
forget
y'all.
to like,
Y'all have a great
subscribe,
day.
Share. Y'all have a good day.
and
Tell
keep that
somebody
energy
about
going.
us and support small businesses.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's
Please.
free, y'all. Y'all can subscribe. Be safe.